Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boomba on your Boom Radio NG. Happy holidays to people in Nigeria, as it is people in Nigeria that have holidays. It's our way. Anyway, I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. It's a celebration time. It's the season, so why not? If not, but we bid you a warm welcome to the bar this afternoon. It is a very interesting one. There's been a lot that has happened over the weekend. So we're going to be talking about it today. It's very interesting. We're going to be talking about um, people's vice presidential candidate that looks like to have caused a little bit of rancor between a lot of people, a lot of people, um, which there are conversations around that we're definitely going to talk about. There is also, that elections is, or should say elections is actually like very, very, very near, whether we like it or not. It's near. So we're gonna be talking about it. There was a debate yesterday, actually. So I think it's something that we should definitely look into. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about the flood issues, basically one of the major issues that we're going to be dealing with this afternoon, especially in Lagos State. We've seen pictures, we've seen videos of, and we all know that, especially for people that live in Lagos, for over a week it has been raining every single day. And I was looking at um the forecast, and it looks like it's going to rain all through this week again. And if 1 week rain has wreaked the kind of havoc that we have seen, what's happening in the next week? Do you get? So it's a very crazy thing. So we're definitely going to be looking at that as well. So yeah, well, that and maybe a few other things that ever actually comes up in between all that. So let's get right into it. Flood in Lagos.
Okay, first things first, let us get to introduce ourselves. Apart from Dolupo, I'm here. My name is Shola Rogers, and of course,
Ogolo is here too.
Yeah.
Ogolo is hidden.
so the bar is in full effect, so that we let Dolupo know that we are not invincible.
Yeah.
Because you just want to start talking to people that you did not allow them to even say hello or hi.
Sorry.
No, it's because they are used to us. He's used to us.
What about the people that are not used to us? There is God. God will not forget us.
The boy is carried away by the flood issues. So
Carried away by the flood. I like the carried away by the flood
Okay.
issue, because we can laugh, but some people are not laughing.
it's not.
So there's a lot of stuff for us to unpack on this one, and maybe we should just dive right into it. I take a stance that is not popular, and I've had to. There was a time I took up a friend of mine who is a journalist, is a sports journalist. He lives in Port Harcourt, and every time there's a flooding issue in Lagos, especially Lekki, he would start posting the pictures and the videos and start poking fun at people living in Lagos, and he says all sorts of derogatory things about Lagos. And so there was flooding in Port Harcourt last year, serious flooding. So I took the same pictures and videos, and I started tagging him on social media to say, this is Port Harcourt. Now, sadly, I am doing this, which is against my belief. And the reason why it's against my belief, in the course of this discussion, I will reveal it. But I had to do it to make him understand that you are not any different from the people in Lagos. In fact, I have come to a point now that I believe that no part of the world is prone from flooding. Whether you are 1 million meters above sea level or 1,000, look, I stand to be corrected, though. But the reason why I say that is that, as if to buttress my point, there was flooding in the UK. That last year was bad. There was flooding in Germany. It was really, really bad. New York, New York was terrible. I saw the underground trains. They had to shut down.
Yeah, they had to shut down.
And all of that, you know. And I said to myself, why do we always pick on Lekki or pick on Lagos and say flooding? So I said my stance is unpopular because I know now it's politics season and everybody's politicizing anything and everything that they can choose. So for me, I don't like it when people do it, but I had to do it to make that guy. He didn't respond till today. He did not reply. And I know him. He likes to curse people on Twitter and do everything. I'm surprised that he couldn't reply me because I went in with facts and figures. And one of the facts that I know for a fact is that Lagos at its highest will give you maybe 41 or so meters above sea level. But there are parts of Lagos that are actually below sea level. The Lagos Island, Lekki axis and some of those places are below sea level. But I am not making excuses. What we are lacking now is proper engineering. There are things that can be done. Technology has taught us one or two things that can be done. But you see, nature, like they always say, water will always find its level. You know? So you can only do so much. But have we done so much? You know? So I know there's so much to unpack, but that's my intro. And I'll yield the floor to Ogolo.
Well, I think a lot of us should only go back and reason things about flooding. Flooding is a global thing. Flooding is an existential thing. Man will always try to solve a problem that he created. But it will be very difficult for man to solve the problem that is existential. Let us go back. Creation, God provided for everybody. God provided the sea for us to enjoy. God provided the forest for us to enjoy as human. God created things around us for us to live. Like I was telling somebody, I said, the Yoruba people, they like pepper. The Igbos might not like pepper, they like garden egg. Because God provided those things in their own areas. So, so when you look at it, for instance, we are talking about flooding. Holland is below sea level. That whole country is below sea level. But what have they done? They have tried to manage themselves to live. So what we have
is available.
Yes, what we don't know here is that we have blocked the natural channels created by God. We have blocked them. The whole of Lagos empties into Koramo. The whole of Lagos empties into Koramo. It's like a discharge point. But now, it's all built up. It's all built up. For instance, part of Isheri is 50, 60 years ago, they dug them. And that is why Isheri is prone to flooding. And if you go through the beds of like Isheri area, through Ikorodu, all the channels, the natural channels there that takes the water into the ocean, they are all blocked. So human activities have created the problem that human beings cannot easily solve. And that is flooding. For instance, the flooding in Adamawa, those northwestern states or northeastern states.
Yeah, you wonder why they have flooding as much.
Yes, because 56 years, they did not release any dam in Cameroon. By the time they released it, the whole of about 7 to 8, up to like Kogi. Yes, they had problem about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know they did.
So these are, for instance, just like you said about New York, they were bayous that they opened up some dams. In fact, it was an executive order during Obama's time to open dams to release water. You understand? So these are things we don't know all these things in Nigeria. It's just like we don't even know. Some of us, it's just lately we started knowing that they release dam or all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But again, look at the rainfall. It's man's we have derogated our environment so much that the rain can come as it wants right now because we have opened up the ozone layer and all those things more and more.
That's why we have more rain.
The rain is now torrential, kind of. Some areas.
There's so much rain. Rain is causing a lot of havoc. Last week, I think it was
Ibadan.
Pakistan.
2 weeks. Ibadan 2 weeks ago. You understand? So we can discuss flooding from now. And again, all the drains are blocked.
Yeah, talking about drains, that's what I was going to talk about. That as much as we know that there are a lot of things that people are doing. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. The drains that are even there, that are not even enough,
We are not maintaining.
we're not even maintaining it. You know, we're talking about this morning that as much as you are, the water level is rising because of global warming generally. There is the angle of people regaining land, which also increases all that. There is also the angle of us not the channels that they're supposed to put out. I was reading someone was putting out about how the canals in Lagos, a lot of construction is being built on. You know, over the last week there was a lot of hue and cry about Anambra State government talking about a very popular pastor Odumeje, where he had one of his church structures right on a what's it called, and I read what Governor Soludo had to say about that, and he said that as far back as April, Anambra State governor had been telling him, they've given him notices upon notices upon notices.
Excuse me, I want to equally tell government that at times these notices don't work. If you find a place where there is a blockage that
because it's illegal in the first
place,
place.
that will destroy properties of common people or whatever kind of people, just take it over and remove that structure.
But does the law allow you to do those things without due process?
Does the law allow you to build illegally? Who gave them permission to build?
No, I agree with you, but you know at times they'll tell you that, okay, for example, it's like you build a house.
Can I tell you something? Let me tell you something for free.
The government has to literally go to court and get court orders to do.
Can I tell you something for free? The government does not need, all the land in this country is owned by government. That's why there is the land use decree and all those things. So government does not need all that. The truth of the matter is that many churches, many religious houses, many things like that don't have approvals. And we see those people that approve them even when they were in service and bring all of them to justice. So we cannot continue to say, oh, is it okay? Now, what about the common man's house that they were destroyed? Did they demolish? Did anybody know about that? Because you are talking about somebody prominent and everybody is shouting, oh, it's not good. Someone. See, I want to remind all of us, when governor of Lagos State, there was an office of drainage. There's a name they call it.
Drain dogs.
Drain dogs, or office of drainage, or something.
Yeah, they had the drain dogs.
The director, the permanent secretary, or the head of that was the late Santos. I've forgotten his first name. I must tell you, many years ago, I was doing some jobs in Apapa. On a Saturday morning, as early as 6 a.m., Engineer Santos was on site, reading the area, trying to make sure, and by the next morning, people were there relieving these drains of all the things inside and clearing up all these drains on Apapa. Apapa that is now blocked. They were doing all those things, and they were helping. When it now rains, you see the water just drains out immediately. But now those drains are blocked. They are all blocked. So even the water that is there now cannot even move.
You know, you talked about human activities, that mankind is to blame largely.
Yes.
And of course, we also know that there's the rising sea level, which is a global phenomenon.
Yes.
Again, mankind's activities.
Yes.
I remember when in Surulere, Dikolubi Street to be precise, where we were living at some point. When we got to that street, the end of the street was like a canal. And there was some marshy land that looked like a swamp. Someone had land just close to that swamp. And barely a year or two after we moved in, that land was acquired by the person whose land was close to the swamp, and it was filled out. So the canal could not flow through anymore, and they turned the canal into a gutter. Guess what? Guess what happened? The next rain that we had, all the houses in that street were flooded.
Oh yeah.
And for years, we lived with the flood. I lost a lot of things personally, members of my family. Whenever it rains, barely 1 hour rain or 2 hours rain, the whole house is flooded. At some point, we actually had to buy a pumping machine. And we had that because we were spending too much renting a pumping machine to pump water out. And even the water they are pumping out, where do you think it's going? Do you understand?
Yeah.
And nothing happened. And if you're going to look at it, that is the issue.
Yes.
People were building on places that naturally had been delineated as flood channels.
You are even forgetting the fact that people, when it's raining, people literally go to what's the spaces? They pick their refuse and dump them.
Listen, see, I keep telling people, we are problems.
Yeah, I agree with you on that note.
They drink. Look at, if you go to Ebutemeta, if you go to NTA Channel State, there is a canal, a drainage point between Channel 10 and the Celestial Church. Just stand there.
Oh, that was Channel 5. By the railway compound.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I know that place.
If you just stand in front of it, look to your right and left, you will see the convoy, and let me use that convoy of plastic bottles.
Yeah.
It will be as long as from here to
mile 12.
Mile 12. Okay, how do people live in that kind of environment?
When we were younger, growing up on Adisa Basho Street, we would make boats, paper boats, and put them in the gutter, and the gutter will flow. And we will run with those boats on land, like the boat is going in the gutter. Clean gutters then, the gutters were not black then, they were clean. And the boat will flow until we get to a canal by Adisa Basho Primary School. And from that canal, you know your boat is gone. You know? So those canals were there. And again, the same canal, if you trace it, leads to Alaka. The one in Alaka crosses, you know, that major road to Ikonri. And if you check the other side of Ikonri, there's another canal. And going through the whole of Surulere, that Ikonri canal takes you all the way to Census. And from Census to Aurelia and all of that, so Aguda, all of those places. The same thing if you go and look,
canal.
Yeah, the same thing, the one that is at Lutz. The canal passes through Lutz all the way. You understand? Behind Umbuka and all of that, Lawansi and all of that. But when Fashola came, the day they came to clear that canal, there were cars on the canal. You will not believe me. There were cars, like the canal was parallel with the road. There was a mechanic workshop there.
See, there are all sorts.
So it was when they started excavating and the amount of sand that was brought out. That's when you started looking at it and I said, oh my God.
That's
so people were like, oh, this is a canal. Yes, it is. We knew because when we were younger, it was there. And nobody was desilting, nobody was clearing it. The same thing goes for Ikorodu Road. Ikorodu Road is one of the best roads in Nigeria.
Ever constructed.
Underneath Ikorodu Road is an underground
drainage system.
That is I don't think there's any road in Nigeria that has it.
I can stand inside that drainage system.
Wow.
It's as
do you know how many people can go into it? So when the drain dogs started work, we saw them. They would go in and they're there for hours, bringing out dirt. Apparently, they've not done that desilting for over 20 or 30 years. So, on the part of government, they are failing.
No, let us.
On the part of us as the people, we are failing.
Let us even go back. During fashion last time, he created a lot of channels to open up, to take out water.
Yeah.
To take out flooding. I think I got the name, is Peter Olubumi Santos. He died at 56 that time. Wow. He was the permanent secretary, Office of Drainage. I respect him because I saw him early in the morning. He took that job as a personal job. Mm-hmm. He's a true Nigerian. I see. He will go around and ensure that these places are open so that the rainy season water can run. See, we have failed our people as a government. And you know what? During fashion lifetime, you know that thing created employment for people.
Oh yeah,
yes,
it's employment.
Yes.
If you remember the Office of Public Works, they were employing young people.
Casual.
Yes, casual.
And they now became permanent workers.
And if you remember, they were immediately attending to roads too.
Oh yes.
There were better roads in Lagos.
I became some kind of star in my area in Ojodu that time when there was a pothole that was causing a lot of traffic. And one day we got down and I'm like, okay, we were passing traffic. So I was speaking to those guys like, what have you people done about it? I said, nobody until government. Right there and then, because I had saved the number of the public works people, I just made a call. I didn't know anybody.
You don't need to know.
I just called them and they asked me for descriptions and everything. 24 hours after,
that thing was done.
it was fixed. So the next day when I was passing, I slowed down and you know,
People were greeting you.
okay, thank you.
You know,
They thought I was one kind of special guy that knew government. I didn't know anybody.
true.
This is where we should be.
Let me explain something to you. Maybe the first time I'm telling you. The bus stop around Agidingbi, near opposite the Zenith Bank there.
Yeah.
They were building that bus stop and they were using wrong materials. I went to a Koni Baje page on my phone, just like a WhatsApp group, and I reported there. And they asked me right there that I should explain what is happening, and I said it. I must tell you, by the next morning, they took over that project and made it the way it is now. So I keep telling people, if you have a responsible man at the aim of affairs, things will work. Fashola, there's no name, there's no building that you have Fashola's name in Lagos, but his name is in our hearts because that was when governors ended in this town. For me, Fashola remains the only governor I have seen because in his time things were working. There was no day I reported issues to Ekoni Baje that time that it was not attended. So right now, what are we doing? Look at there is something coming up on the bridge right now. Just as you want to climb that Kara bridge, there's a big pothole there. Nobody's looking at that.
And it's going to get big.
It's going to get bigger.
And traffic will start again.
This week, when people start coming back tomorrow.
You can imagine.
I almost ran into it last night when I was going to look for diesel. But I'm telling you, that thing is getting big. But in fact, last time, once you give them a call, they'll fix that. Whether it's in Ogun State or Lagos, it can help traffic.
Yeah, it's a very sad thing. But before we move off that topic, another thing that looks like it's
So, but please, honestly, I'm sorry. Solutions. We have thought in bits and pieces, but I think we need to have like a concise talk for a few seconds now and talk the solutions.
Solution first.
Let's list it.
We as a people should change our ways. We should respect the environment because the environment is a creation of God just as we are created. As you take care of yourself, take care of the environment.
Take care of the environment around you.
Then number 2, government should be alive to their responsibility. Government should take care of their people to be able to take care of the environment. It's very simple. If the government is saying don't drop refuse there, and they are arresting people for doing that,
people will sit up.
It's very simple. It's just that we have this like a desk attitude. Everybody just says, "Oh, I want to do a flyover in my name." That's government. No, I'm not telling you to do a flyover. There are basic things.
It's in the basic things. I agree.
Is it not when you do small things that the big ones will be simple?
Yeah, I agree with you. And like you had one of the things that another thing that is causing, which I don't know if it is the level of water or the rains and all, but in the past 5 days there's been boat mishaps in Lagos. In fact, it's been a recurrent thing in the past few weeks.
Yes, there will be boat mishap because water levels have increased, but drivers are not conscious. The riders of for instance, I'm a generous user of canoe to cross from Isheri to Mile 12.
Oh.
Yeah, I do that often, but I have stopped doing it because personally I have seen the rise.
The water rise.
The last time I had that kind of experience, the canoe took me far.
Oh, wow.
That's the level of water and the wave.
The wave.
It will first of all take you before, if the person, the canoe, I don't know what they call them now, the canoe rider or whatever, if he's not a specialist, if he does not know, if he does not have that experience, he may not be able to bring you back to shore.
Wow.
So it takes you far. The man now traces his way to the edge of the bank.
And then you now, I think I've seen something like that before.
They did it in our presence.
Yeah, I think I've seen
so
something.
a lot of people are not used to that. They might just open up their engine and they are flying over, and the wave, it depends. You have to study the wave. See this ocean, everything is like life. In the morning the wave is going east or south or north or wherever. In the afternoon it changes, and you must be able to read it.
Two things for me when it comes to this boat mishaps and all of the problems that we're facing. I took a boat once from Ikorodu to the island, and 15 minutes into our ride, in the middle of nowhere, the boat stopped. It stopped.
I can't imagine.
And I looked around me. Everybody was calm.
Why are you so calm?
Why are they calm? Like, okay. So I asked the guy, because I was sitting close to the driver. I used driver, you know. And I said to him, because he had 2 other guys working with him who were immediately trying to fix the engine. I'm like, did they know it was going to be bad? Was it why those guys were sitting outside this boat? And I asked the guy, I said, what's going on? He said that the engine must have packed something that don't worry, that they will fix it. We were there for close to 20 minutes.
In the middle of the water.
So, me, I don't already start calculating. Saying, even all the swimming that I can swim, where am I swimming to? You know, like, but we were given life jackets. They insisted on us having life jackets. That was one. I'm like, okay, this life jacket did. They say, we'll blow whistle. Okay, now the whistle go manufacture who go save us. That was one. So the reason why I brought that up, that is a personal experience that I had. They fixed it, and we continued on our way.
You are, of course.
but it led me to one thing: safety. One, they insisted on life jackets. Mm-hmm. But 2, there was nobody trying to reach out to anybody else. Like, because it actually belonged to a company. Are you going to bring another boat? He said, no, that we should relax, that we shouldn't worry. But it was a regular occurrence, which led me to the state of those boats. That, okay, in what conditions are all these boats that they are putting out to ferry people from one end of Lagos to the other? So who is checking the conditions? Like, there's VIO checking the conditions of cars on the road. Who is checking the conditions of these boats, especially the ones that are powered by motors, to find out exactly how well are they being maintained?
Another angle that I feel that maybe happens is, this is where nobody's still talking about yet. I've read a few stories of what happened in the past 1-2 weeks. What's the number of people on those boats? What's the required number of people that are supposed to be on the boats? A lot of these boats are very overcrowded.
But we are not regulating now. Is there an office of boat transport? Are they there at the bank? Are they looking at
that's it? But they're also human beings as yourself. At a point, you should know that we are too much in this boat. I shouldn't be here.
I take canoe, and the first thing I ask the man is, how many people are you supposed to have in this boat? You say 14. I say, okay, how much will it cost me alone? No, it's true. How much will it cost me alone to cross? I pay for me alone. It's not because I have too much money.
It's safety.
It's just safety. That if 40 people are sitting on this canoe.
How many minutes does the canoe ride take you from Isheri to Mile 12?
5-10 minutes.
From Isheri to Ketu.
And it's not motorized.
Okay.
So if it was motorized, it's probably even faster.
1 minute. It's just to cross the river.
So Isheri to Ketu takes you 5-10 minutes. If you are driven from your location in Isheri to the Mile 12, how long would it have taken you?
It may be like 1 hour, 2 hours because of traffic and everything. At times when the traffic is even good. But I cherish it because I just take a stretch. I go to, they call the place Agility 2. From there I take a bus, maybe 100
to the market.
It's easier for me. But again, the roads are bad. Those villages there, in fact, they have been neglected. I don't think they are seeing government at all. Everything they are doing there is self-help.
And that's probably it's
an easy way out of traffic.
Yeah, that's a very huge
if
part.
Government is saying they want to decongest traffic and you are looking at alternative means of transportation, what is the state of water transportation in Lagos?
Water transportation will decongest everything because, for instance, if I have a road from for instance, just like from what do you call this estate? GRA. From GRA.
That's GRA Isheri.
Isheri, not GRA.
Isheri North.
GRA, the government estate. You have a good road to that place. Then from there, just have a flyover or a bridge of about 2 or 3, 1 kilometer.
1 kilometer. That river is not that big.
Let's even say 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
Let's even say 2 kilometers. Even do the bridge across the village there. The Agility 2.
Yeah.
You are on the express. You are just on the express.
And that's going to cut off a lot of traffic.
You are just going to be at my 12 market.
Wow.
The major road tied by government to the estate. You are just going to be there.
That's the Ikorodu Ketu road.
No, there is a road from Ikorodu Ketu road to
the market.
Agility 1. Third road. Done by Chinese company. Just drop the stuff, the bridge there. And everybody will just see, rather than people going through all those, they are going to Ikorodu They don't need all that. They just come through this end and go through that. And there's another one you can do from Wawa to Agric in Ikorodu. It relieves this Lagos-Ibadan expressway big time. But I don't know. Government are not looking at all those options.
You know,
Maybe they have other things.
So basically, it's not enough to pay lip service to asking for road decongestion and transportation issues when the one that you can actually, which is a low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. You
You're
don't
not
need to
even
build
really
tracks.
you're not
You don't need to build.
investing in it. You know, if government spends a fraction of what they're spending on rail, on water transportation, it is safe too, because again, like I'm saying, I am worried that there is no form of regulation, and people tend to resign to fate. I've seen a video of somewhere close to that Lasso area. Someone made a video of a bridge where people cross, a wooden bridge, and the wooden bridge, of course, was built by some businessman, and people pay money, you know, to cross from one community to the other. So that bridge is towed, but not by government, because it's not government that built it. So what would it cost government to connect those two communities? You understand?
See, we are not ready. I keep telling everybody, we are not ready to do anything about our existence as a people. Let the people of Agility 2, Agility 1 say they are not going to vote for any party.
Anybody.
Let them not even go out to vote. Let the people of Isheri say they are not going out to vote because they have not been provided these basic amenities. And let's see whether they will come to pay for vote. And don't collect bags of rice or anything because they want to vote for you. Want to vote
Collect it, eat it, and don't vote.
All the same. But the beautiful thing is that we cannot continue like this.
You know, in case, and hopefully they get to watch this video or listen to us, another thing that they can do is the Kara Bridge. If you go beside Kara Bridge, on the other side, the bigger side of Kara Bridge, there's a U-turn that's been fixed by government. What is wrong with fixing this side of Kara Bridge and also connecting the bridge across?
God bless you. I must tell you, I discovered that place about a month ago.
Oh, really?
I've been using it for years.
I have not known. I didn't really know.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
Congratulations to the government of the day. They did that one, but they would have just concluded it. You know, they would have mirrored it.
The second side
yes,
of
they would have mirrored it to have helped.
Exactly.
Because at times when I go to Kara and I just come out of Kara,
because they seem to be doing something on that side of the road.
They have not finished it. They need to start and finish. It's not government that do that. It's personal. Those ones are personal jobs. And the people, Kara, maybe some private investors now want to look at Kara.
So apparently, you know,
but again,
the building that has the biggest flag, that big Nigerian flag, what I heard is that the owner of that structure is building an estate there. So any construction you see around there is not government road construction. It's just some person that is about to put up another estate there. But what we're saying is those parts should be linked.
But if there is an estate there, it will really, I don't know, it will, all we need to do basically at the end of the day is
build another bridge across.
They really need to find a solution to it.
The truth of the matter is that the government has done something. Let them replicate that.
Because
the man building an estate, where is his approval? Who approved an estate?
The worst part for me is that, especially now that they're fixing this road, they're doing a lot of work on the Lagos-Ibadan road. Imagine
but that would have been an alternative.
That major, this place is a dual carriage road. This side and the other side of the road. It will literally, I think it would even be easy to conveniently divert everybody off the road, which would even make your work easier.
And this dual carriage will take you all the way to Arepo.
Yeah. They'll do it on the side.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Both sides, and everybody, you know, give a few weeks, nobody is on the major road at all.
And if you look at it, they can replicate the under-bridge thing in Magboro.
Yeah.
In Ibafo.
Yes, every bottleneck.
They can replicate it and it will help. And again, just like I have always told people, everybody traveling, everybody coming to their homes, Isheri, Magboro, others, they don't need to be on that express.
Yeah, they don't need to be on the express.
Let them go to the
Let them go to the, I know you know that You're literally going and then you just enter your street and you're out.
And
Yes.
when people travel abroad and they see those fine roads, they say, "Oh, the road is it's free." Those are the kind of
Those are the kind of things that happen.
Yes.
Those are the kind of things that happen.
So we should all not just go abroad and come and be talking there. I went abroad. No, if you have learned something, they bring it here. We don't even need to learn. Our people can do everything.
Can do everything. I agree with you on that. Let's move quickly from that and let's move to a bit of politics. We know that politics is a major issue now. There's elections everywhere. Presidential elections is about 7 months from now. In a few days, actually, there's Osun State gubernatorial elections. But before we get to Osun State, let's talk about something that has been trending since yesterday, and that is the vice presidential candidate or running mate of the APC presidential candidate as Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And there, for weeks there's been speculations that it is Governor El Rufai. There was talk about it being Governor Zulum. There was a time that it was there was talks about the former, I think, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara. That was, there's been so many what's it called, that it's a Christian, it's a Muslim Christian ticket, is this and that. But officially he had, after going to see the president yesterday at Daura, he officially announced that the former governor of Borno State, Kashimshettima, is his running mate. Yeah. And of course we know the person is a Muslim. So okay, before we take reactions from people, what do you think about it?
Well, for me, he has a reason for choosing his vice presidential candidate, yeah. And that's his prerogative, his business. If he so wants to test Nigerians' personal perception about religion, maybe he feels that's okay for him, and maybe he found something in the man's CV that works for him. But in this, we have to look at the Nigerian context. In as much as I ask myself, why are people talking about Muslim or Christian or Muslim Christian ticket and all those things? Does it really offer a balance? Do you understand? Does it really offer a balance? I don't really know if it does that, because I have not been in government, but I have not seen it publicly, because all I just know is that once somebody is there, from the way Shettima was talking even before the primaries, I knew he was going to be the vice presidential candidate, because he was just talking as if he was already a vice presidential candidate to the man. So if Nigerians don't like that, they vote them, they don't vote for them. If they like them, let them vote. I don't want to be engaged in all these religious. If the man is fit to do the job and you want him, I don't want to know who is there, so long as they can deliver. As
long as the work is done. Yeah.
So that's my take on this matter.
It's funny how me and you agree on some things. I wish we didn't, but we do. I know that in 1992-93, when we all trooped out to vote for MKO and we didn't even care.
We didn't even know. I didn't even know Kinkibe was. I didn't even know where Kinkibe was.
It was not even a thing.
You didn't even know what state he was from.
I didn't know.
Nobody cared.
I only knew Kinkibe State about 3 months or 4 months ago. I never knew. Because Kinkibe's wife's name was Ireti. I can't remember, but I know she was a Yoruba person. So I didn't.
Nobody actually cared then
about the religion or the ethnic group.
Nobody did. You see, so the truth is, it's June 12th that we're suffering now, and that's causing this. When Abiola became president, at least when he won,
when he won the
election, confirmed that he won the election. He never became president. He was not sworn in officially.
He never became president.
He did the Ekpetedo declaration by himself and all of that. But let me quickly digress. The place where he did that declaration in Ekpetedo is looking like a slum now. Lagos State government should go and fix that place and make it like some kind of tourist attraction. That's aside. Now, And the military were never going to let go. They were just playing games. And they knew they were not going to hand over to the civilians. So they brought in the interim government. And what they did was to bring, and this is where the problem started from. This is why we're doing this Muslim, Christian, North-South thing now. Because if you go back to the 70s, go and ask, when Gowon, being a military guy, became president, he was a Christian from the North. Go and ask who his vice was. It was a Christian. It was a Christian. After Gowon, go and check all the other people that came after him, Obasanjo and all of them. They would make sure that they were balancing and picking people from different parts. Here you get, even if they were not voted for. But the ones that were voted for in Abiola and Kingibe didn't make it there. And the smart thing, which was criminal, was to pick someone from Abiola's side as an interim. So that before you people say it was a tribal thing, we have picked his brother as the interim president.
After 3 months,
they knew that they were going to remove him after 90 days or God knows what. And Abacha came. Then he created 5 parties. And he created those 5 parties and put them across, trying to create some kind of spread. But we all know it was a lie. Finally, Abacha died. The man who came in, a military man, also from Babangida's side of the world, Niger State, went with the constitution that Abacha had written for himself. This constitution that we're using was created for a military dictator. And quickly, everybody got into politics. And within the space of 1 year, it was done. He left, like as promised. And what did they do? They agreed a gentleman's agreement. Because Abiola cannot be president anymore, let us get someone from Abiola's side again to placate Abiola's people. And that's where they came up with the choice of Obasanjo. And if you trace the history of these parties, the first party that was created was the PDP. People do not know that it's this Tinubu and Bola Ige and all of them that created that PDP. They left the PDP when Obasanjo and the other people that they don't count as progressives joined the PDP. This is a fact. They started the APP, left the APP. A few days to the closure of registration, they started the AD. And that's where we went back to regional elections. Because the AD became the party of the Southwest. All their governors were from the Southwest. The APP was predominantly North. While the PDP had a spread, in
rivers,
in South, East, and that's why the Southeast still keeps voting PDP till tomorrow.
Even with Abga around.
I'm sorry I'm giving you all of this.
You have made some points that I didn't even know.
Now, that's where we started doing this one must be here, this one must be here. Because now that you have an Obasanjo, he definitely was going to pick someone. So he picked someone who won the election to be governor of Adamawa already, which is Abubakar Atiku. And Atiku became vice president. We all know how that panned out. And Obasanjo was going to hand over to who? He had to hand over to a northerner. And he handed over to Yar'Adua, whose running mate was from the South. Sadly, Yar'Adua died. And when Yar'Adua died,
he just scattered the whole thing.
By the way, Jonathan moved in, which is the right thing to do if you look at the law.
Yeah.
But if you look at the gentleman's agreement, that was a wrong thing to do. People might not want to hear what I'm saying. Because the North had said, okay, you guys have it for 8 years, and we'll have it for the next 8 years. But a Southerner stepped in to finish the tenure of the Northerners. You will know that's why they refused to tell us that Yar'Adua died when he died. There was a lot of
the doctrine of necessity.
There were games being played because they didn't want to hand over to his vice. Now the vice now went ahead to contest and win, and that period was supposed to still be for the North.
But he had a northern vice presidential candidate there.
but not a northern president. Remember that the North was supposed to have power for 8 years. If we go by the gentleman's agreement that we have all come to know as zoning, eventually
it's not a gentleman's agreement in the case of the PDP.
Eventually, the PDP put it in their constitution. That's what you're just in my head. We're on the same page. They put it in their constitution and said, okay, you can zone. These APCs and co are new parties. Forget the people who are there. The APC is a new party. It was 4 or 5 parties that came together, a coalition of parties that came and formed the APC. Now, still going with a gentleman's agreement that they were not a part of. The PDP is the one that actually had that structure and said, this is what we're going to do. So for every time the PDP did it, all the other parties did it. Remember that Olufalaye contested against Obasanjo?
Yeah.
Now, when they went to ACN, the ACN's presidential candidate was Nuhu Ribadu. His running mate was Foladiola, a Muslim. 2 Muslims. Nobody said anything. Nobody complained.
Because they didn't know.
Because they felt that they were not going to win.
And they didn't win.
And they did not win. So
okay,
complained.
so it wasn't a problem because
nobody counted them as
they felt they were not going to win.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, finish.
So when we did that, where was Khan? Where are all the people complaining now? They didn't say anything then. You see, I'm saying we must have the same standards. Now, moving away from that.
Can I ask you a question before you go further?
Please.
What's Khan's problem in getting presidential or getting candidates? Let me explain.
Khan should actually go and register
as a political party. I agree with you.
I am not going to say.
Or more like affiliate with a political party.
I have said it. I have said it.
No, for instance, I am tired of all this religious anything that people talking about. I don't want to be involved in all those politics. But where is Khan? Who is their vice presidential candidate that they want to give?
So,
man?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I've taken all this time. Let me bring it home. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Now, the PDP that had zoning in their constitution refused to zone. And guess what? I understand why. As much as it is wrong when it goes by their constitution and the fact that the southeastern part of Nigeria has stayed loyal to the PDP
the bottom line
since
is you
1999.
want to win. Everybody wants to win.
If we say they want to win, you are right. But guess what? Calculate. Since we started this democratic journey in 99, the first 8 years was someone from the south and Obasanjo. 8 years. Yar'Adua did not do 4 years. I think it was 2.5 years or so. Jonathan, a man from the south, finished that 4 years, then did another 4 years, which gives him 5.5 years or 6 years.
Yeah.
You get, depending on how you calculate it. Add his 6 years to Obasanjo's 8 years.
That's 14 years.
That's 14 years. Then after Jonathan, there is a Buhari who looks like will do 8 years. Add his 8 years to
22.
to Yar'Adua's 2.5 or so. What would you have? 10. How many years has the South been ruling Nigeria?
14.
Who has ruled Nigeria more?
South.
Since 99. It's the South. It's the South. So I just want to point that out because that's a fact. That's one. 2, in reality, having Yemi Osinbajo from Ogun State as vice president, a pastor from the Redeemed Christian Church of God, as vice president, how has it directly impacted on my life as a Christian from the Southwest? How has it impacted on any Christian's life? Having a Christian as vice president, what difference has it made to you? What have you benefited, either collectively as a Christian body or individually? What difference does it make?
So you're saying it's about his competence. It's not about his religion or.
That's what it is.
Or his ethnicity. I agree with you that we need to be removed from those things. My question is that we see that a lot of people are really going off about this Muslim ticket and this issue. Yeah. Now we know. Okay, if you go to Twitter, for example, a lot of people are saying they don't want PDP, they don't want APC. In fact, that a lot of people
Twitter don't win election.
No. I'm trying to bring a point. And my issue is they say that people Peter Obi is going to win the elections. They're going to
Excuse
do
me,
a lot.
let
Let
us
me
face
just
one side
ask.
of
Let me
this
just
matter.
finish that angle. My question now is: if you think that Peter Obi is going to win and you're very confident, and you feel that what Tinubu has done is wrong or is not good for him politically, why do you have a problem with who he picks?
Excuse me. I don't think that's a very big. We are just discussing Muslim tickets. Let us not go too far, because all the acronyms that they are bringing, I don't see anyone that is reasonable. For me, when you say somebody is obedient, I'm only obedient to God. I cannot be obedient to man. I cannot even take God's glory to what men now turn into nonsense around me. They should look at even the obese antecedent. Has anybody dug into obese personality from his childhood, from his days in Usuka? From his days in Usuka, people should go through it. Go through it. Is that the kind of president you want? Whoa, then okay. Emilio Con, it's my turn. Is Nigeria for sale? Is Nigeria a personal thing? Is my own? I don't know what the other man is bringing, but let me tell you something. The thing is that 2,000 people wants to determine the fate of Nigerians.
Not once. They have already did.
It is very wrong. It is very wrong.
Okay, I'm talking about the delegate system now.
Yes, the delegate system has put us into this because we don't understand what delegate system is. Did we bring them back to the people to vote for them? The card-carrying members of each political party to vote for them across this country to say this is who we want? We didn't do that. We allowed only 2,000 people to choose.
So, yeah, I think that's where the problem is.
And we have missed it again for another 8 years or another 4 years as a people. So please and please, whatever, I'm not going to be concerned about Muslim ticket. I'm not going to be concerned about Christian ticket. I'm not going to be concerned about pagan and what do you call the other ones? Okay, where are the traditional worshippers?
Why are they not represented? They're a huge part of Nigeria, whether we like it or not.
They can. Let me explain something. Can, as a body, should be ashamed of themselves. I'm very sorry to say that. I'm a Christian. You know why I say that? Our religion, our faith looks at the human first before even the religion.
Yeah.
We should love ourselves. I'm not going to be a party to saying that man is a Muslim. Yesterday, Muslim people celebrated. Some of us went to our friends' houses. They are our friends. We ate with them. We drank with them. We enjoyed ourselves with them. Are you going to now separate me from my friend? I have a friend, my best friend in the world is a Muslim, but we have never spoken about religion. We have never spoken about our religion since we have known each other for close to 40 years. He does his own thing, I do my own thing. When it comes to human existence, we discuss life. Do you understand? So why are we making it an issue in Nigeria that Muslim ticket or Christian ticket? I'm not a believer of any of these presidential people, but I am a realist. I'm not going to be a part of any Muslim. If a Muslim can deliver Nigeria,
go ahead.
I am okay. If a Christian can, if it's even a priest of the traditional religion, let it be. Why all this? I'm not going to look at the container. I am going to look at the content. I'm not going to look at the container. So all of us, everybody shouting, this one, this one. Let me tell you today, in Nigeria, election is not going to be won on social media.
Yeah.
If you are a popular candidate, go and campaign. Whether they are spending money to buy the vote or anyhow, because if you say it's money that buy, why do they go to campaign at all?
Yeah, they shouldn't campaign at all.
So let us even leave it. Everybody is shouting that you have to be this, you have to be that. Everybody is forcing their candidate. Don't force anybody on me. I have my mind. I can't. Some people are saying candidates on social media. Do they know that candidate in Osun? Did the person even go to campaign in Osun? Did he go to Ekiti to campaign? Did he go anywhere to campaign for their candidate? Don't those parties have candidates in all those states? Yeah. Did anybody help them? If you are a presidential candidate, you should be able to go through your states. They have just done 2 or 3 elections. What impact did you bring? If you are that popular nationally, why can't you impact people in Ekiti state? Why can't you impact people in Osun state? Why can't you impact people in Edo? Why can't you impact people in the people that are saying they are on social media? Can they even impact people in their locality?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Why are we talking with like Lagos is a cosmopolitical
Politan
city. So everybody is like, hey, just making noise. Where elections are won is not Lagos. Elections are not won because my mother in my village already knows who she wants to vote for.
True.
Whether the person they campaign to her or not, she
already
knows who she wants to vote for.
Exactly.
So how those things we are doing here is a social. It's a social interaction. Everybody's just shouting. And again, people should be careful the way they talk because it's already becoming a fight. Any small discussion now is already becoming a fight. Some neighbors are becoming enemies.
Already, yeah.
Already.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. People are fighting themselves already.
After elections, are we
or people that don't even know you, like literally, they actually don't know you. Like, let's just be coming down. I'm talking about elections before we go quickly. On Saturday, this is about 5 days to go. The Osun State gubernatorial elections is happening. But we saw over. I don't know if everybody caught it. There was a debate yesterday. Mm-hmm. There was a debate last week.
Yeah, that one was by Arise TV.
That Arise TV, where the governorship candidate for Osun State did not attend that one.
Mm-hmm.
The governorship candidate for PDP.
Okay.
He didn't attend that one.
Is he the disco dancer?
Oh God.
Is it that same guy?
You just had to say it.
No, is it that same guy?
Yes,
okay.
He's that same guy. But he actually came yesterday for the debate yesterday. Akin Ogubeyi from Accord Party came. The governor was there. Lasun Yusuf from Labour Party. Ademola Adeleke was there. And Oyegoke Omigbodun of the SDP were there. And you know, if like debate. You said, if elections are won by debate, I think that I can say for a fact that maybe an Oyegoke Omigbodun, who threw out a lot of numbers, had a lot of things to say, would probably have won that election. Or maybe an Aki Ogubeyi would probably have won that election. For people that do not, for people
or the Labour Party candidate,
or the Labour Party,
the APC.
Oh, they're very vocal.
Lasun.
It's obvious that Governor Oyetola is not an orator. In fact, doesn't seem like someone that talks a lot.
But I think he did very
well.
well.
No, I'm not saying that he didn't do well. I'm saying he's not the charismatic person that Lasun Yusuf is.
The only
charismatic does not win.
That's what I'm saying. That
the only talking point when you go about it is that the candidate of the PDP, Demola Adeleke, seemed to still be reading again, just like people were complaining about him at the radio station where he was reading out his manifesto instead of being able to articulate himself.
And it's very interesting because I remember there was a part where they were asking about security of the state, and it was talking about how his family is a peaceful family, how they've known them for years, and I'm like, what?
Dolupo, when they asked him about the statement he made, we all saw that video. I saw the video where it was like, if it's money, he has money. If they have pounds, he has pounds. He said that no, that they twisted the story. Now this is a video that everybody saw. Now his own defense is that what he was saying is that he's going to bring in foreign investment into Osun State. It's not the same thing when you say if they have money, we have money. That whatever it takes you will give it. That is completely different from his defense. So at the end of the day, I just saw a candidate that I feel is not ready to be governor, but he just feels that because his brother was a governor and his father was a senator, and his brother was a senator to please his brother's stand. So I think it's more about entitlement than having something to offer, as against the other four men on that stage that I saw.
They actually, they were not. Actually, it was
the truth of the matter is that the other three men, or even the four of them, are siblings of the governor from APC. All of them left APC to go and form all these other things. They did not wait for their Emiloko. That is,
they did not wait for their turn.
They did not wait for their time. So I think everybody should look at it from. Oyetola is using his time. A lot of people have made up their mind who they want to vote for.
Yeah. I think so.
How many people in Osun saw that debate yesterday?
Yeah, fact, I can say that the bulk of people that were probably